It is me, Mr.A, your host of the Ready Talk Boxing Show. This is a Mr.A's thoughts. My opinion, my thoughts on Uysk being the number one mandatory and his should he enforce it? Normally in this situation here, I know we all want to see the undisputed. We told Lipinets to fuck off. We're kind of telling Jack Catterall, dude, fuck off and just get the winner of the next man, get the winner of all the belts, So I understand why people want to see this Fury AJ match so bad. I get it. I understand. I'm a boxing junkie too. This is a junkie rehab known as the RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing. We sit in the corner and talk boxing to ourselves. We're boxing junkies here. So I understand how bad wanting to see the undisputed, but I don't think Usyk should take step aside money. And if he does, it's got to be some ridiculous amount, like $20+ million. And I get into that as we speak. But the reason why I don't think Usyk should take the step aside money and go and enforce his mandatory position is three reasons. And you could say, wait after you fight the winner, you become undisputed in two different weight classes. You get historic legends, and then But what if you want to say this? Like I said, I'm saying no. He shouldn't for these three reasons. You can put them in any order, but they're all important in their own right. There's time, there's money, and there's legacy. But I know, like I said, you can say, well, Mr.A, if he spends that time waiting, he gets all 4 belts in one fight. I get it. Legacy, he gets double undisputed, cruiserweight, heavyweight. Money, he's going to make money. So what's the problem here? How can you argue against those three? Let's talk about that right here on the RT Boxing Show. Thank you for your time and support. Any order, but okay, time. Usyk is 33 years old. You could say that's young in boxing. He hasn't taken much damage, blah, blah, blah. True, but he's older than Tyson Fury. He's older than AJ. He's older than Daniel Dubois. Some of those people coming up in the game, he's older than. Usyk, total fight-wise, he had like 100... what did I say? He had like 120 something fights, or maybe 130 something fights in his career. AJ has like 52. Fury has less than 40. And you gotta think, we saw what Chisora did to Usyk. What is Fury, Joshua, Dubois? Even if he beats them, he's gonna take a hellified beating to beat them. So you don't want to grant these guys to fight because you're going to get older. And are you really going to wait for 2 fights? Because there's going to be a rematch clause. So what if it's a split? Then it's a trilogy. The fans going to see a trilogy. Are you really going to wait out a trilogy? You already got to wait out 2 fights. You'll take more step aside money to wait out a trilogy? And what are you going to do in between all that trilogy? You're not going to fight them. You already got Daniel Dubois. That's strong punching fucking mule. You got him calling you out. And so what is Usyk supposed to do? Wait, fight all these other hard-hitting motherfuckers, get older, and then when it's finally time to fight the undisputed guy, he's about a year, 2, maybe 3 years older, taking on some wars of other heavyweight guys. So the timing, and then what if Well, okay, AJ wins. AJ's pretty game. He has a good history. He fights. But what if Tyson Fury wins? Just based on history, is Tyson Fury man of his word on rematches? I mean, you know, or title defense, I should say. Is he good with title defenses? So, do you really want to put time on that? Money wise, like I said, if you're gonna take step aside, it's got to be some ridiculous amount of step aside, like $20+ million. And the reason why I say that is because that rematch clause, there's no guarantee that the fans won't be there. What if the fans are there? What if they're able to half full the O2? What if they're able to fill something and they get some fan money and you stepped aside for some shit little money and now they're getting fucking buku bucks? And then, you know, and then they had the rematch and you already put in the contract that, hey, I already stepped aside for this much. Now they're making more money in the rematch because they got more fans. So they're over there making 50 million, maybe 60 million, maybe 30 million. And you stepped aside for what? $4 or $5 million? And then you gotta go take other ass whoopings, possibly lose your mandatory spot for $5 million while they're over here getting paid 30, 40, 50 millions, depending on the crowds and pay-per-view. That's a big ass high five. What if it goes to trilogy? You stepped aside while these guys are over here possibly making anywhere from a total of 60 million to maybe 110 million from a trilogy, even a double rematch clause, possibly, like I said, 30 to 80 million possibly, and you're stepping aside for what, $5 million? So why not say fuck it, I want my fight now. You know, I don't give a fuck what the first fight is. I'm gonna beat you, and in the rematch I'm gonna get more money, so that way I beat AJ, then I'm gonna go beat Tyson Fury, get more money doing that. And in that way, that ties in with the legacy. And you say like, oh, he could be undisputed in 2 weight classes in 1 fight. That's true. But there always going to be that question, or the rumbles or the boxing talk in places like this with junkies like myself and you. Well, yeah, he was undisputed, but he didn't beat AJ. He beat Fury. Or he didn't beat Fury. He beat AJ. You know, don't leave none of that shit in your legacy. Beat them both. Enforce your mandatory. I beat AJ. Not only did I beat him twice. I beat him in a rematch. And then I went to go with Tyson Fury. I beat him too. Then I beat him twice. I beat both the best twice. And I became undisputed in 2 weight classes. So like I said, when you look at it that way, when you want to be somebody, and you ain't trying to cherry pick and duck and wiggle your way into something, when you actually want to build a legacy, and it looks like Uysk does. It looks like Uysk is kind of serious about this legacy shit. You don't got time for step aside money. Not when you're 33 years old. Not when you already had 50 plus more fights than the people you plan on beating. The people you plan on beating are going to have rematches, forcing you to wait, fighting some other young studs, hard-hitting motherfuckers who's going to outweigh you. Why take all that beating just to take a harder beating? No, man. It's like I said, as boxing fans, I want to see the AJ and Fury fight. Or fuck it, whoever has the belts, I want to see those guys fight. But if I'm Uysk, fuck all that. And plus, just to talk boxing on a Ready Talk Boxing show, Mr.A thinking about it is like, you'd be a goddamn fool to step aside. You'd be a goddamn fool to step aside and put your body through that type of punishment. Mr.A thoughts. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. Thank you for your time and support. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? Step aside. How much for the step aside? Is 20+ million too much? Or just say, hey, you know what, Mr.A? Thinking of that shit? I agree with you. Fuck a step aside. Thank you for your time and support.